Why is Maillard reaction hard for non-meat ingredients? Imagine biting into a perfectly roasted piece of meat with that rich, savory aroma and deep brown crust. Now think about trying to get that same flavor and color from plant-based foods. It's not as simple as just heating them up. The reason comes down to the chemistry behind the Maillard reaction. This process creates those delicious flavors and browning we love in cooked meat. But with non-meat ingredients, it's a different story. Meat naturally contains a good mix of reducing sugars and free amino acids. These are the key ingredients needed for the Maillard reaction to happen efficiently. When you cook meat, these components are already present in the right amounts and are easy for the heat to activate. Plant-based foods, however, usually don't have enough free sugars or amino acids readily available. Instead, they are packed with complex proteins, polysaccharides, and oils. These are harder for the Maillard reaction to work on because they don't have the simple, reactive molecules needed. Another challenge is the structure of plant proteins. In meat, muscle proteins are organized in a way that makes it easy for heat to break them down and releases amino acids. In plants, proteins are tightly bound within cell walls and fibrous tissues. This makes it harder for the heat to free up the amino groups that are essential for the reaction. To get around this, chefs often need to use special techniques like enzymatic treatment or fermentation to break down these complex proteins into smaller, more reactive pieces. Plus, the specific amino acids and sugars that produce the classic meaty flavors are often missing or less abundant in plants. For example, amino acids like asparagine and sulfur containing amino acids are important for creating savory, roasted notes in meat. Plants may have different amino acid profiles that don't produce the same flavor compounds during cooking. This makes it harder to develop that rich, browned flavor without adding extra ingredients. To boost the Maillard reaction in non-meat foods, cooks often add external sources of reducing sugars or amino acids. They might use ingredients like maltodextrin, glucose, or even specific flavor precursors to jumpstart the process. Sometimes, they use enzymes to hydrolyze proteins and releases more reactive amino acids. Increasing the cooking temperature or extending the cooking time can also help, but this risks burning the food or creating bitter flavors. In some cases, food scientists create formulations that include Maillard reaction substrates to mimic meat flavors in plant-based products. These strategies help develop the desirable browning and savory notes that are naturally easier to achieve with meat. So, in simple terms, the reason why the Maillard reaction is harder for non-meat ingredients is because they lack the natural balance of sugars and amino acids found in meat. Their protein structures also make it tougher for heat to produce those flavorful, browned surfaces. Overcoming these hurdles involves adding or modifying ingredients and carefully controlling cooking conditions to bring out that delicious, browned flavor we associate with cooked meat.